Find out how my destructive patterns, my insecurity, my unbeknownst traumatic codependency helped to undermine most of the relationships in my life, particularly a 21-year marriage and an 18-month relationship after divorce. Welcome to the Results Kill Excuses show. My name is Greg. I am so thankful to have you again checking back in here to listen to my stories, man. Let my stories be your success, be your inspiration, because I've learned the hard way. I hit my rock bottom so bad. And what I want to talk about today is self-love. And if you're new here, I appreciate you checking in. My name is Greg. I'm a turn your life around coach. Sometimes I don't know what the fuck I am. I'm a motherfucker that's transformed my life. I mean, that's just the real talk, man. You know, the fancy titles and all that stuff, I think it matters. This freedom alignment coach is kind of sticking with me because I've given myself that, right? Freedom, right? And depending on where you're watching this, freedom means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I talk about total freedom, right? Total freedom means, right, no limits to go anywhere you want with whoever you want for as long as you want, wherever you want, however you want. And that's just like freedom of time, financial freedom, right? To be able to, you know, go way beyond just freedom of speech or, I mean, a lot of us need to free our minds. A lot of us need to free our subconscious minds. And so freedom is something that I definitely believe in, and it's something that I've worked hard towards, giving myself freedom. And I continue to progress each and every day. And then alignment. Alignment was huge. I was misaligned for most of my life in terms of relationships and connections and who I was selecting to, fall in love with. There was a lot of, red flags. And I think in the modern movement of relationships, I think there's so much more information out there because we're learning from a lot of fuck ups, a lot of mistakes. And maybe you're somebody that's going through some heartbreak right now. And I'm telling you, I've been through some terrible heartbreak. I have self-destructed in most of my relationships. And when I say most, I got married at the ripe age of 19 to a woman that was 18. And it was sort of a military thing, man, where you just get married, to get extra benefits. You fall in love with somebody, but then you say, let's get married and we can live on off housing and extra money. And, most people didn't think this shit was going to last 6 months, and it went 21 years. And that doesn't mean it was beautiful. It was filled with challenges. We were probably not the best aligned, but there was a love. We definitely cultivated a love because, I mean, staying together for 21 years is a testament. And we have two beautiful kids that are both doing really wonderful. And I'm proud of my children. I'm proud of the fact that even post-divorce, right, that me and my ex are progressively improving our relationship. We don't have a bad relationship. There wasn't a big fallout and craziness because here's a word to the wise. If you're thinking about getting divorced and you got young kids, here's what you need to do, kings, is you need to realize that that woman, if you're a stand-up man, and if you're not, then adios, man. But if you're a stand-up man, meaning you want to be a supporter, right, and the father of your children, here's what many of you may not know, but I'm hoping you do, is the relationship with their mother is forever. It's till the end of time, man. There's no ending. It's not when the kids turn 18. A lot of us say, "Oh, when the kids turn 18." No, that doesn't change it. It's forever. And so the sooner you can mature and develop good co-parenting plans, mutual respect, create boundaries, right? It's super important. And then I started dating after the divorce and then trying to reestablish my self-confidence because I was at an all-time high low. 21 years married, 41 years old. I was like, dude, who's gonna love me? All sad, pobrecito. And you decide how you want to feel about this. I can just tell you my story is that I had started dating, and a lot of the interactions with women um, helped to rebuild that self confidence. Like, I'm indebted to a lot of women that, maybe it was just a few dates, but the fact that, I had a shot and it really boosted my confidence that maybe that wasn't the end. The divorce wasn't the end. There was this whole other life that I've now been on for 5 years, which even isn't that long, but it is. It is a long time. And so throughout that journey, right? Which, if you're new here, in 2012, I hit my rock bottom. And in that situation, again, um, it was alcohol induced. Me and my ex wife had a domestic dispute, and I had my ass thrown in jail, restraining order, divorce papers, all this shit. And the marriage should have actually ended then, and it didn't. We were separated 10 months, and then we reconciled. And we went 7 more years. And, tell you, this is just my truth, right? You let your truth be your truth, but I'm always gonna be vulnerable on here. And sometimes I don't know where these are gonna go. I don't like to be scripted, and I hope if you're new here that my thoughts don't get too out of place, that I can keep some congruence. But I like to really flow and just speak from my heart. And I know that I usually do reach people, and I think I'm gonna reach the right type of men with this message because I'm talking about things that we're all fucking dealing with. And so 7 years, it was challenging. And, at the time we were going to Christian church and, we got some counseling when we started to reconcile, which almost felt like impossible as well. But, there was a lot of guilt and a lot of shame and a lot of, we have to do this for our kids. And it was sort of like, I thought we needed, like, I think that's the wrong approach. Like, doing things for the kids is great, but what about doing it for each other, that we still love each other and we still want to make this work? And it's not just for the kids. It's because I love you, you love me, we're soulmates, we're destined to be together. Like, somehow we've gotten off track and we could get back on. And, looking back, we were just different people, right? We're just different people. And, I was living a sober life. I hit my rock bottom and I said, I can't fuck around no more. I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm done. I had to let go of the bullshit. And my ex-wife, she still liked to go out. She wasn't, it's kind of funny. A lot of the shit the bad things that happened, she was always there, like passenger seat, I'm the driver, DWI 1. I'm the driver, DWI 2. And so I know what it is to fuck up relationships. Major, 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 major. And I also know what it is to reconcile and to heal relationships. And that leads me to this. It's like, well, how does any of this have to do with self-love? Because the undercurrent, you guys, the undercurrent to why the alignment and the mismatch is so important is, here's what I have learned. Here's the revelation, man. This is the secret sauce to everything. Stay tuned, right? Just stay tuned. Put some of your attention here. The games can wait. Listen. What I realized as I've gone, it was really post-divorce that I had the time and the space to really start doing the emotional, the real deep inner child emotional reflection and wound healing, healing that inner child. Because I had to wake up after divorce and say, who am I? And as I started writing that down, I realized, like, fuck, I've lost myself completely. I also had to go back to the origins and realize that holy shit. When I was a little guy, me and my mother, man, survived a tremendous amount of violence, um, to where, we probably are lucky to be alive. Right? She's definitely lucky to be alive. None of this stuff I say is to bash people. These are just facts, like attempted kidnappings, actual robberies, beat downs, strip downs, guns being pulled out and shit like that. So here's what I understand about this is that I created what I would consider as a trauma bond with my mom, little baby. And that obviously became codependent. Like we were each other's saviors, because we were co-survivors. And eventually she fled, right? She was able to flee. And the sad thing is that, you know, my biological father, his family's pretty large, and I got excommunicated from all of them until really just my adulthood, like maybe the last 12 years. And even still, it's strained because there's not really any parabonding, like any connection growing up. But here's what I realized, you guys, is because of the codependency that happened. And then my mom started another family when I was about 12. So I wrote off a story of abandonment that literally subconsciously, and this is where this program hits different than a lot of others, because I'm talking to you about my real life healing, spiritual awakening journey. And yet there's results, you guys. I'm a different motherfucker showing up right now. And what I've realized is that the women that I selected, and I've really only had like three, my mom, and then three significant relationships in my life, right? Which is a 21-year marriage, an 18-month relationship after, and then one that was about 6 to 7 months recently. And so what I realized is for sure in the 21 and the 18-month relationship, subconsciously, what I was trying to do is still trying to replace my mom that I thought had abandoned me. And also just having that codependency feeling that like I'm not worthy of love unless I have a woman that's willing to like nurture me and care for me and like take care of the child inside of me. I know there's a lot of men out there like this too, and we don't talk about this shit because we don't understand it. But I have figured this out and I can actually articulate it. So stick around and tune in and shut off the fucking distractions. Like listen and connect with this stuff. And so, the marriage was what the marriage was, just totally oblivious at the subconscious level that I'd picked this woman to kind of be my mom. Like this is weird, right? And then getting out of the marriage, dating, I met another woman that just an incredible connection, like deep, deep, deep connection. Like, man, I know this person. It's like this soul level connection. And yet I thought I had healed a lot of stuff in like probably the 18 months since the divorce. And I hadn't, man. Like me and this woman, we activated each other. Whereas like we had the highest highs and the lowest lows, man, just really, really activating toxic patterns and activating trauma triggers inside of us. And that was like a super deep heartbreak after 18 months. And I realized that I needed to just go into a season of singularity and be alone for a long time. And I don't know if I've really talked too much about this topic, but I know that when I look at the suicide rates right now, when I look at the addiction and the obesity in men, I'm a believer in Gabor Mate. He's a doctor that he connects everything, man. All the addictions, right? All the disorders in our life is connected to our trauma, childhood trauma. And so this is subconscious. That's why we don't think this stuff through. We don't understand why we get triggered. We don't understand when we afraid, fear abandonment, and a lot of men, we just put on a front. Like there's plenty of red pill shit out there now. It's like, just be tough, be hard, keep that frame, right? Don't be simping. And there's power in a lot of that. Like we do need to ground ourselves, which then takes me to the self-love is the thing I've discovered throughout my healing journey is that I absolutely needed to deepen the roots of my masculinity because I was still behaving when I would get triggered as very immature, and that would be very destructive, right? Because this adult version of me would come in to, gangbusters to protect the child that was all afraid and scared and shit and cause even more damage to people that I genuinely loved, that I still love. And if anybody can relate to this, like comment down below, be vulnerable, man. My message is always going to be authentic. It's always going to come from the heart. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. You can have your opinion. I have my story. I own my voice, my truth. This is my voice. This is my story. And I know that it is truly my time to share so that we can help to heal the emotional side of men that are causing so much self-destructive patterns and habits. And so the thing that I've learned how to do coming off of really the 18-month, right? I could even say me initiating sort of like, hey, this marriage is kind of done. Like that was a self-love act. But when we think of self-love, let's just be honest, we're men. We think about jerking off. That's what we think about. Self-love. Ah, fuck, man, jerking off. And it's different, man. Like women have this figured out probably more so than men, but not all. I've met a lot of women that they haven't gotten their shit together. Self-love. They have a lot of addiction issues as well on the other side of that spectrum. But when we're sitting around and we're depressed, we're feeling unloved, we're feeling unappreciated, we're feeling our own just unworthiness, we're feeling stress about, you know, can we keep up? Can we make enough? Can we meet the expectations? There's so many pressures, man. Like this world is really a pressure cooker. I see people all the time posting about how tight it is. And I know what it is to lose everything, man. I lost every fucking thing. And yet I've built myself back. And I believe that the comeback is better than the setback. And that's a big piece of inspiration for you. If you're fucking feeling like you're behind the 8 ball or like you're just getting crushed right now, man, like there's a way through, right? There's a way out of your problems. And I just heard this recently. There's a way out and it's right through, man. You got to go through it. You got to face this shit. And that's really where I started to build that masculinity is by facing and dealing with my problems, not running from them, not avoiding them, not going to shit. I didn't have the alcohol anymore. I didn't have the weed anymore. So it's like, what the fuck am I going to do now? I did start turning to the food, to sweets, right? But all along I was learning how to take better care of myself. And a lot of that was asking for help and getting professional therapy and doing it on a regular basis. But also, I needed to start looking at my nutrition, right? I needed to start looking at my fitness and my exercise routine, right? As men, we thrive, man, when we go beat our asses in the gym. We thrive. You may feel like a fucking bag of shit right now and look like a bag of chips, but if you started getting after it and you could have a long vision where it's not just, oh, I want to get in shape and lose weight. No, like if you want to say, I want to stay in shape, I want to fucking be fit for life, and I'm going to get back to working out for the rest of my life. It's going to be part of who I am. I'm changing my identity. I'm getting after it. Man, that alone would start to get the juices flowing, the endorphins, just to feel better about yourself, that you could have more confidence and courage to accomplish any problems that you're faced with, any challenges. Men thrive when we not only experience a challenge or are faced with a fucking opposition, but then we fucking smash it, man. Pow! Let's fucking smash that shit. It feels so good. We've lost that edge as men. And so those are self-care, but there's also like other things that's self-care. A massage, like when's the last time you got a massage? You're a man. Ah, man, I don't get a massage. Why the fuck? You're busting your ass all day. Take care of this body. Your body's a tool. If all you're doing is polluting it and sitting there pretending you're doing shit by either watching shit or playing shit, like that's fake. If you were to literally turn off the tube, turn off the games for 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, holy shit, man. Could you imagine what you would do with that free time? And especially if you start learning this concept about self-love, self-care. Because here's the thing. If you want to improve the relationship you got with others, guess what? You have to improve the relationship you have with yourself. See, this is the problem with the misalignments. I didn't love myself. Right? There was a lot of times I fucking hated myself. Well, guess what? The love that I was giving, it was all transactional. It wasn't authentic. That's not authentic love. It's not authentic until you truly do love yourself. And like, how many of us have even heard, like in a Bible, it says, to love yourself, to love your neighbor as yourself. And it's like, well, how do I love myself? Because you're not even you're supposed to deny yourself. There's contradiction. One minute, Jesus is saying to deny yourself. And the next minute, God is saying to love your neighbor as yourself. Well, fuck, I'm not supposed to deny myself and lay myself down for my wife to walk all over me. What the fuck's going on here? It's so contradicting in life, but yet that's your number one purpose, is to take care of yourself. And a lot of us are programmed that somehow that's selfish, somehow that's narcissistic and self-centered. And there's all this negative connotation about literally having self-interest. And we have to stop that. We have to start prioritizing. Right? That if you're a man and you need to work out on a regular basis, that is really something you need, but you just feel like you don't got time, or it's because your kids or your woman or whatever. It's like, fuck that, man. Like, dude, all of them are going to be inspired by you kicking ass and leading. You need to lead physically. If all you're doing is sitting around eating fucking chips, watching sports, like, dude, that's not leading. You are leading, but look what your example is. You need to really lead self-love, self-care. And that a lot of that is literally therapy. Therapy, self-love, man. Is saying I need help. I'm tired of being fucking embarrassed about it. I can't do it all on my own. I can't figure this shit out of my head. That's why men are killing themselves. That's why, fucking drug-related, alcohol-related deaths are skyrocketing. That's why obesity is so fucking bad in men. We're miserable. There's a lot of miserable men out there. And I'm here to fucking tell you guys, please stop. Stop being so miserable. Right? Start to imagine your mission. Figure out your mission. Massages, going in, soaking in hot springs, getting in cold water, man. Cold showers is so self-care. I took a cold shower right before I got on here. Long day of work, right? It's hot. It's summer, long day. Right? Working out, I just need to wash all that off so that I can be fresh and show up for you. I took the shower not for me. I mean, yes, it's for me. I want to feel good, but it's ultimately to say, how am I going to show up for this result kill excuses nation? How am I going to show up for my people? Right? That are starting to tune in here. Subscribe, share, like, comment. Right? We need each other, man. But what you need more than anything else is you. You need to start to figure out how you can take better care of you. Your thoughts, right? Your emotions. You need help with therapy with that shit. Your body, if you need a trainer, fucking hire a trainer. Do some trading work, right? If you're a tradesman, go to a fucking gym and see if there's anybody that would train you for some trade. It's not always got to be about dollars, man. Like, you have value, you probably have some skills, you could probably do some trade work. A lot of you probably have skills, you could probably do some side hustles and realize you could be a millionaire with that versus other bullshit you're wasting all your time and energy on. This is the new frontier. But we're sitting there with our tails between our legs, complaining about rich people and fucking the haves and and being a have not. And it's like, dude, go get it. This is an infinite abundance. There's no limit. For you to win, I don't have to lose. And for me to win, you don't have to lose. You can win. I can win. We can all win. The government, society, media is the people that try and make it sound like there's winners and losers. That's a mental thing, man. It's mental. And if you're willing to subscribe to that, then guess what? Then that's going to be your reality. But if you're willing to bust past all that bullshit and go and get what's yours, because see, here's the thing. I don't want what's yours, but you can't have what's mine. There is something, a divine birthright that is totally yours, man. But you got to really rise up and be the best version of yourself. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So those are the things you have to start taking care of yourself. You have to take care of your mental health, right? Less time scrolling, less time on the tube, less time on fucking watching porn, less time fucking sitting around all sad and shit. Emotional health, man, it's like you got to start writing some shit down and processing some of your inner pains, some of the hurt, some of the fucking things that happen to you when you're a little guy. And usually you're best to do that with a therapist. Your spiritual, having spiritual practices, starting to explore or reconnect with God is so important, man. You have to believe in something other than just yourself. And then the physical. How do you take care of yourself? Garbage in, garbage out. What you eat today is how you're going to feel tomorrow. So if you ate healthy food, I have an incredibly healthy, man. This nutrition bomb is so freaking good. One of these days, I'm going to show you guys how to make that for a show. It's so good. I'm going to wake up just feeling like it's crazy. I'm all natural, man. I feel incredible right now. So much energy, so much strength, so much vitality and youthfulness. Libido like crazy, man. Testosterone. I got the blood work to prove it. But I show up every day for me. I have to put me first, and then everything else falls into its place. Because if my cup's full, guess what, man? Everybody around you is drinking from your abundance. If your cup is empty, if you're exhausted, if you're drained, if you're fucking just totally low energy, guess what? Everybody is smelling that and just choking on it. It's like you're polluting the whole entire environment. So it's time to really start taking responsibility and stepping up. If you've made it this far, just listening to me, just know it's coming from the heart, and know that I do value your subscription. I value your attention here. We only got so much time in the day. And if this message starts to resonate with you, that I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and that there's a lot of food for thought, but don't get stuck thinking on it too long, right? Make it fuel for action, not food for thought. That's what we do here. Fuel for action. That's what I'm serving up to you. Fuel. I'm trying to fill you up so that you can spring into action, so that you can accomplish your goals and dreams, so that you can truly wake up and not have the vices, not have the fucking guilt and the shame and the embarrassment and just all of this other bullshit, that you can truly feel proud of yourself, that you can trust yourself, that you can look them in the mirror and say, there's that badass motherfucker. There he is. I'm proud of you for doing the work. So keep doing it. If you are doing it, if you're not doing it, now is the time. Not tomorrow, next month. You need to like cut everything out, man, and just toughen up. Get after it. Stay tuned here, right? I'm going to keep showing up as the best version of me and putting this show out every single day until the wheels come off, man. I'm going to just keep showing up. This matters to me. Getting this message out matters to me. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Share this message with somebody. Comment down below if there's a topic that you're stressed out about that you would like me to cover in a future show. Man, I would love to hear your feedback and I'll run with it. I want to serve you. I am here to serve you. I love you. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, where your growth equals greatness. Greg's out.